Hello there and welcome back to the flight deck. Welcome to something completely new on this channel. We are here in the middle of Austria on a little airfield called Alltough with the COWS DA40 XLS, which we will take for a little trip today. I have a little plan of getting around Austria in this plane. The basic idea is there are loads of beautiful free airports either already provided by Sobo in the standard sim, in the native sim, or available for free like this scenery here on flightsim.to, and I wanted to showcase those airports. And it will also be a test for something bigger that I'm planning on doing that we will talk about a little down the line. Nevertheless, we will get set up. I will put on the battery switch here. Whilst everything is spooling up, I can already tell you today we are flying Alltough to a little airfield in Styria called Fürstenfeld. It's already entered into the queue over here, but we'll do a little more flight planning later on. Whilst the tow system is already starting, we're just gonna check the lights. Landing light is working, taxi light is working. Position lights, we can because it's dark, we can see them working properly, and the strobe lights are working as well. Perfect. Let's have the lighting off. Hop to the outside real quick, and we'll do a little outside check of the aircraft. We'll start in front here. Our front tire, the structure is looking good. The tire is in a good shape. Everything is looking proper and stable. We'll check on our fuselage that there is no visible damage here. We'll go alongside our wing on the leading edge over here, check the surfaces that they are looking good, also at the bottom. Whilst we're here, we can have a look at our tire, looking good, the brake is looking good, and all the pins are in. Perfect. We checked this here is our stall tube. We checked that it's nice and free. Continue along our wing. We can now also see the lights were working, but nothing is broken over here, which is important. Here's where our aft gas goes into. We check the fuel cap, that it's facing backwards like it should. We could normally also check the fuel tanks. The fuel that is in the aircraft, basically check that it's still good. We cannot do that in the sim right now, so we'll skip that part. But over here we can see everything is nice, nothing's broken, everything is stable. Normally we would move the aileron, we cannot do that with the COWS DA40, it's not supported. Maybe it will come somewhere down the line. We'll check that everything is looking good down here. One thing we forgot to check on is our pitot tube down here. That is good, in a good shape. Our flaps, we will check that they are nice and stable. Continue along at the backside of the plane. Here we have our comm antennas 1 and 2. We verify that they are in a good shape. Continue to our T-tail back here. No visible damage. Check our tail strike fin here, that it's nice and stable. We check the cables on the rudder. We check the rudder itself. We will move those surfaces. Normally we cannot do it. As I said, maybe COWS is going to add that feature somewhere down the line, but for now we don't have it. Check the cables over here. Go along the other side of the plane, do basically the same stuff. Check the wing again, check the flaps, check the ailerons. The fuel cap is facing backwards. Everything over here looking like it should. The wing is looking nice from below. Come all the way to the front over here. That is quite loud. The tire is looking good. Come all the way to the front. Check our propeller. No damage. The air intakes are looking good down here as well. And we can come into the aircraft now. And we're going to start setting up on the aircraft. First things first, we want to check our flight controls are moving nice and freely up, down, left, right. Perfect. Close up the canopy. We'll check that the back canopy is locked as well. The front one is too. And basically we're good for engine start already. We'll go onto the engine page over here. We will do a quick start of the engine now. We will taxi over to the fuel station, to the gas station, and fuel her up and continue on our flight planning from there on. But as of right now, we're all good for the engine start. We're gonna put the strobe light on. Alternator can come on, verify everything is where it should be. So now, here comes the fuel pump. Half reach, 3, 4, 5. Cut, come back on the fuel, and here she goes. Have a good engine start. The fuel pump can come off. The thrust is coming down a little. We're going to lean her in somewhere about there, and we have a good engine start. Without any further ado, we will tap the brakes real quick. Since we're only taxiing around the corner to the gas station, we are not pulling in on the frequency right now. We're just leaving our hangar here. We're clear on the left side. There's already someone leaving the airfield. We are clear on the right side. And here's the gas station. So we roll up there. Okay, here we go. Parking brake, and we're going to cut the fuel. There we go. Everything's set for the time the engine will come off, and we'll do a quick mass imbalance over here in the seats. We have ourselves, which we can load into the aircraft cargo wisely. We have about 15 kilograms of garbage, baggage of course. And fuel wisely, we are going to set ourselves up with a nice 13 and 13 kilograms, so 26 in total. That is perfect. Normally that all would take a little longer, as we would have to get outside of the plane and fuel each wing separately and pay for it, of course, and all that stuff. We do not have to do that right now. So things are going down a little quicker. This is why you normally turn off the complete plane. We wouldn't have needed to do so right now, but for the purpose of the engagement, we're doing it. Nevertheless, we can put on the battery again now. The Garmin is coming up. We check the light is the lights are where they are supposed to be. There is no circuit breaker outside. Perfect. We're gonna check once again. Everything is moving freely like it should. Now we're going to check the flaps. We're gonna verify that they are moving like they should. They are. We got the slide setting correct. Put them into the takeoff. That is good. Okay. Now we're gonna reset the fuel. We can decrease it to 26. 26, there we go. That's what we have. And basically, we are good for yet another engine start. To pull up our checklist. elevator trimmer, noodle, throttle, propeller, and mixture that is checked, parking brake is set, ignition is off, alternator air closed and static air as well. Master switch is on off, alternator static is closed as well. All lights off, that is checked. Circuit breakers are checked, flap selector check up, pitot heat, fuel pump is off, battery switch is on, Garmin 1000 is powered and acknowledged, flight controls are free and correct, flaps already traveled full and are already set for takeoff, fuel selector onto the lowest tank, which we do not really have. We're gonna switch to the right tank now, so we can go to the check. Okay. So we can go to the main tank for our takeoff. For the engine start, the strobe lights are coming on, and we can once again check they are working properly. Everything should be working properly when we leave here. We're gonna have quite a long tour. We're going to take approximately 10 legs, which is going to bring us all around Austria, across the Alps and stuff. Let's continue over here. Engine temperature is above 150 down here, so we will do hot engine start. We can close up this tab now. And we're going to go into our starting procedure now. We're going to check once again, and we always do like a question mark, so we start all the way at the left and follow the plane all the way over here down there. Alternator switch can come on as well. We're gonna have the fuel pump come on, we go half throttle, we go 1, 2, 3, cut off. There we go. Throttle like this. And there she goes. Get a good engine start. We can come back on the RPMs a little bit. Come down under the mixture until she drops. There she is. Recover. And she's leaned for ground. The fuel pump can come off now. And now we'll do a basic system test. So the strobe light is on. That's all that we need for now. Since it's quite dark outside still, I'm gonna have the instrument lights on. A little bit of floodlight maybe for the time, quite nice. We're gonna catch on our standby instruments. We are soon going to get the airport data, so we will come back to that a little later. Go over here, circuit breakers are in, flaps are on takeoff. We're gonna check the pitot. So we put it on, the volts are dropping a little bit, the amps are rising, and the warning is gone. We turn it off, everything is back to normal, like it should be. Avionic master switch can come on, and whilst the engine is heating up, we're going to get into flight planning. Our weather is looking very nice, so we can do a complete VFR flight. Just there's our avionic system. There's only a few things that we need to consider. One being there's a military area over here which we want to avoid. There's also one over here, but it's not active at the moment, so we can overfly it. We want to enter some points that bring us around that, basically. So over here we can already see we are planned for a fuselage departure. We're going to check in with flight information service later, but I think that our departure number will be 13 right, so we can enter that already. And then we'll have some waypoints. First one being 0 November uniform VOR. In Austria, there we go. That is gonna bring us, or going to help us stay clear of the military area. And then we're going to get to the south. There is a point that I want to use. It's going to be get in here, Delta Oscar, and then 9052. There we go. And that's not what I wanted to do. Get into the next field. And over here there are some approach points that we can use. Fürstenfeld. And for that I want to get down here. They are not showing here. I will get them. So it will be Victor Papa 030 in, where is it? Austria, there we go. And then we will do one is called Jobst. So put it in there. And that's the right one. Yes. Okay. So basically, let's get into some maps, approach VFR charts. When entering over there, we want to be somewhere about 1,500 feet. So we will enter that in here. We want to be 1,500 feet. That should be a good height. Okay. And before that, Delta Oscar November 5, November Delta Oscar 9052. We screwed that one up. Okay, let's start here. Here we want to be maximum 3,500 feet. Perfect. Here we want to climb. Ah, shit. Still getting used to the G1000. Here we want to be at around 5,000, I guess. Could be a good height. Will give us a little bit of variance during the flight. Should work out very nice. I will shortly prepare all the maps on my tablet, so we have some situational awareness help. Okay, basic flight plan is set up. Over here is where we can start our climb eventually. We can come back to the checklists over here. We're gonna check real quick the after engine start checklist. We did not do it, but the mixture is on ground clean. That is perfect. The lights are set. The center horizon is caged. Flaps on takeoff. Peter heaters tested. Avionic masters on transponder is as we needed. Altimeter is not yet set. Autopilot test FMF is set up. We will do that in a second. First of all, we're going to call in with the airport frequency, which is 118.605. So we will switch those frequencies here because it will be quite easy to get to the frequency over here. And now we should be on the tower. That is a much too big aircraft for this airport or airfield. You don't see that type of aircraft over here. It's a Cessna 525, I think, an Alpha or something, Citation, but nevertheless. We'll start going. So I will plug myself into the audio system. And there we are. Much quieter, much better. Okay. We are good. Tesla Radio, good morning. Oscar Echo, Foxtrot Echo, Lima, VFR Diamond Star from Lima Oscar Alpha Victor to Lima Oscar Golf Foxtrot. Request departure information.
Oscar Echo Lima, wind 320 at 11, QNH 1018, runway 31 left in use, left-hand circuit.
QNH 1018, runway 31 left in use and left circuit. Thank you, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Okay. Other than our inspection, 31 left is in use. So we are going to change on our planning a little bit. Okay, I was reading 500 feet there. So we come back here and we go for 31.
Vessel crossing broad radio, Oscar Echo Yankee Tango India, ready for departure.
We're going to brief ourselves real quick.
Oscar Echo Yankee Tango India, wind 320 at 11, runway 31 left in use.
Okay, that is perfect. Actually, we can depart straight ahead, and then we're going to follow leftwards along the highway, which will give us a maximum altitude of 1,800 feet. So we will set that here, 1,800 feet, perfect. The QNH was 1018, so we'll tune that back and verify that is the correct altitude or for the elevation that we are on. Over here we're going to set 1018 as well. Pretty much here. Okay, so standby instruments are set, all the instruments are actually set. The FMS is set up, so the last thing that we need to do is a quick autopilot test. For that one we're going to put the heading northbound straight ahead. Heading mode, autopilot on, turn left, see the stick moving, turn right, see the stick moving. We can move it freely without the autopilot disconnecting. Then we make a manual disconnect, that is how it should be. Flight director can come off, and now we are going to hold the autopilot disconnect button and try to move the electric trim, and it should not move. Perfect, it is not moving, I'll let go, and now the trim is moving. Back to takeoff. We are all set with this. Okay. We are basically all set up. We also have 134625 prepared over here, which is almost right. Actually, it's not right at all. We want to prepare the Vienna information frequency already, which is 118525. So we're gonna come, actually the other direction is smaller, 118, and then we come down to 525. There we go. This will be Vienna information. Okay. Fuslau traffic, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, taxiing runway 31 left, Fuslau. There we go. We can have our taxi light come on, the parking brake, tap the brakes and release.
Lima, runway 31 left, QNH 1018.
Yeah, we do not have to answer to this. We will get going. Add a little bit of throttle, so she doesn't stop for when we start braking for the turns. Whilst we were taxiing out of the hangar, we already checked on our brakes, so they do definitely work. We're checking our standby instruments down here, but that is all working as well. There was no other traffic announced in the past few minutes, so we should be all by ourselves here. And here we go. There's one taking off. Goodbye. And here we go, rolling out. I need a little bit more flight. Actually, we can turn it off. We don't really need it. I want to fly into the sunrise. That is the idea of the start of this flight. We should be seeing the sun once we reach the mountain, if our timing is good. We can come back a little bit on our RPMs. We're getting very fast here. We do not want to overspeed that much. Okay. So by the time we are all set, get around the corner here. There's a little bit of braking as well. A little to the left now. Try to get back to the center line. There we go. There's quite some wind. They start braking. Ooh, that was a little much. Come down on the engine. There we go. And take our turn here. We should be quite good. This position here, we're going to set the parking brake. We can have our taxi light come off for the moment being. Engine wisely. So let's check real quick. Taxi checklist, the fuel selector, we can now select to the fuelers tank, which should be the left one because we used the right one for the time being. From here the flight instruments are checked. We can go to the in-flight checklist before the takeoff. Aircraft orientation is to the wind. The parking brake is set. The temperatures are all within green measurements. Circuit breakers, verify once again that they are all in. That is checked. The doors were already checked. They are all closed. Mixture is coming all the way forward to full reach. And then we're going to do our run-up. So for our run-up, we're going to increase engine power to 2000 RPM. High, there we go. Now prop. 1, 2, and 3. Propeller cyclic. Now we're gonna check the magnetos. Just the left one. Drop by 80, that is perfect. Now the right one. Drop by 110, so 30 difference. All within the green, we are nice and set. Cut to idle. The engine is not dying. Looking very good. Get the warning indication. Put her back to around 1000 RPM. Now the fuel pump can go on. And for takeoff, we're going to check that our takeoff flaps are set. We're once again going to do some cooking. See that all flight surfaces are still moving freely. And then we're going to double check that has all checked. Fuel pump is on. Trim is also for takeoff and the flaps are on takeoff. And next thing is going to be our lineup. We will not need any pitot tube. Heating, we have very warm air today. We can put on the lights. I will put on the position light as well now because it's still not so bright outside, and with that we are good to go. Fürstlau radio, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, ready for departure to the south.
Oscar Echo Lima, runway 31 left, winds 320 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 31 left, cleared for takeoff, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Okay, tap the brakes, release the parking brake. On the transponder we can come to alternate. Now for our lineup checklist, the lights are on, the transponder is on out, the P2 heater is required, parking brake is released, approach sector we verify once again is clear. The runway is identified and that's it. We do not need to backtrack over here, we got enough runway for this aircraft for this takeoff. So we can enter the runway straight away. And here we're coming into the time reference. Start the timer, we're good. Slowly advance. Takeoff thrust is set. Use a little bit of rudder to correct, a little bit of left aileron. Airspeed is alive. There we go. And we can slowly start pulling. Ooh, and there we go. 7.5 degrees of pitch. And we're flying. So we are aiming for those 1,800 feet. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is clear of runway 31 left. And over here we'll take the left turn to follow the highway. And there we go, 1,100 feet. So we are 400 feet above ground. Flaps can come up, the speed is looking good. We come back on our RPMs for a nice climb setting, 2,400 RPM. Come a little bit back on the manifold pressure. Help ourselves with trim. And there we go. So, climb. Flaps up, 2400 RPM, fuel pump off. Lights as required, mixture, we're gonna go for 350 maximum, which we are. Monitor, instruments, perfect. And then we also already have the sunrise in the back. Beautiful. 1800, we're coming up with our altitude that is planned. Lower the nose, help out with the trim here. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, leaving frequency. And there we go. Heading autopilot. Port 1800 feet. And we will take a left turn. And now we are actually good to climb 3500 feet. We're gonna do that with vertical speed. We're gonna use this power setting.
Slow conning front traffic, Oscar Echo Kilo Yankee Zulu taxiing to runway 31 left.
Yeah, we can leave that frequency. In information, good morning, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, Wien Info, Föslau Kottingbrunn, Information, wind 320 at 11, QNH 1018, active runway 31 left, left hand, RNAV and visual approaches available. Pass your message. Oscar Echo Lima, report altitude.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, VFR from Lima Oscar Alpha Victor to Lima Oscar Golf Foxtrot, climbing 3500 feet for request traffic information.
Oscar Echo Lima, climb altitude 3500 feet, traffic C210, 2.9 miles, 2 o'clock on final runway 27, Conquest 7.9 miles, 1 o'clock.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, request traffic service. Maybe now he should give us a squawk.
Oscar Echo Lima, squawk 6761 and ident.
Squawk 6761, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. There we go. We are climbing over 3000 feet. Here's Wiener Neustadt. We are high enough to overfly it. Be all above the traffic circuits. And now we should have traffic information. We can have our lights now come off. The fuel pump is already off. And we are coming to the engine page here. We are looking at good temperatures. And we are going to open our VFR chart now. Because we can start our further climb in a few minutes. After a few minutes we can continue our climb to 5000 feet, which will be our cruise altitude then. This is looking so beautiful. This was exactly what I was hoping for. Leveling off, we can come down on our power setting a little bit over here. as we're continuing on our climb shortly. We can already set the new altitude, which will be 5,000 feet. There's Wiener Neustadt. We're just passing by the city back there. This mountain is called Schneeberg. A very beautiful place as well. This is basically where all of the skiing is starting. So as you enter the Alps, down the line here, you get like ski resorts on all sides, all around everywhere. It's very, very beautiful. Yeah, we're just waiting for us to leave the TMA. Over here, for the time we're still looking quite good. We maybe want to zoom out here a little bit to have a little bit better situation and awareness, although we can see everything at the moment, so no problems there. Okay, we are now flight level change, increase the manifold pressure and start climbing. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, climbing 5,000 feet.
Oscar Echo Lima, altitudes at your discretion.
Altitudes at our discretion, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. It's not that you would have to read this back, but just for the politeness of
Oscar
things.
Echo Lima, roger, altitudes at your discretion.
That was why I do not like to read it back, because they always say strange things on say intention. It's not perfect yet, but it's working. You can fly VRAM, and I like it more than the Beyond ATC version of things. For the fuel tanks, we're going to go to the right tank now. Once we reach 5,000 feet, we will prime the engine nicely. For the time being, we can come back a little bit on our mixture until we catch up with around 1,350 degrees. That is good. Perfect. The flight is not going to take all that long. Yeah, we're 1,000 feet away from our altitude that we want to reach. We will increase the power a little bit so we climb nicely. So beautiful. Back there is a very big lake that is in the southeast of Vienna called Neusiedlersee. Huge lake, really huge lake, but not deep. Like most of the lake, you can literally stand and keep your head above water. So it's really not deep there. Okay, there we go. We will also very soon be leaving this frequency for the next one. There's another flight information service frequency that we're eventually going to call. He's hopefully going to hand us over. But once that will happen, we will probably already start our descent into Fürstenfeld. I think next time he's giving us like an own discretion clearance. We're just gonna say roger. I think this is gonna make things easier. Okay, we're coming up with our altitude. We really quick wanna check in the post flight down here. We have the weight and speed tables, and we wanna be looking for an IS 55%, 5,000, so 22.3 inches and 2,000 RPM. That will give us a nice cruise balance, and then we of course have to lean the engine to be really fuel efficient. So we are coming up with our altitude here. And we're coming up with our first waypoint. We're going to start turning in shortly, almost 2 minutes. So here we are. Come back to 2000 RPM. This is going to bring us quite far back. 2000 RPM. Not so easy with my controls. And 22.3. Very sensitive. Somewhere around there. And then we're gonna come down with our mixture. And we're gonna check for a nice high temperature. Slowly, slowly, slowly. That's looking good. There we go. .6 gallons per hour, that is insane. Right where we want to be at. So we can now see we would have a range of 440 nautical miles, which we'll definitely not be needing. We already used 3.5 gallons with the climb and everything. We'll have 22.5 gallons remaining. Hours in service, almost 7. Okay, so to continue on with things, I know that our next frequency will be 124.4. So we can already tune this frequency in. 124.4. There we go. And then we want to get the frequency for Fürstenfeld. So I have the VFR approach chart. Our final height for the traffic pattern height will be 1,000 feet above ground level, and the aerodrome itself is at 830 feet, so it will give us 1,800 feet. So we will actually change up our chart here to 1,800 feet, which will give us at a safe height, and that should give us the top of descent somewhere, I hope. Yeah, top of descent actually already. Seems like we are not too far out anymore. Okay, and the frequency for Fürstenfeld will be 22705. German and English. Okay. Let's see if Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima request airport information Lima Oscar Golf Foxtrot.
Vertical track.
Oscar Echo Lima, Fürstenfeld, wind 080 at 6, QNH 1018, elevation 830 feet, runway 15 active, left hand.
QNH 1018, then runway 15 is active. Thank you, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima. Okay, it's 13, they do not have the correct runways, which is no problem. But nevertheless, QNH will stay the same. We have not the important information for our approach. Checklist wisely in the cruise, that is all set. Descent, we are only going to monitor our instruments. And as for landing, the fuel selector, we're going to work with a little later. But what we already can check, the parking brake is still released. That is verified. And the altimeters are both set, QNH 1018. In case this doesn't change, we are set for the approach. And we are going to look into our flight plan, giving us a 300 feet per minute rate of descent. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima descending 1,800 feet. Vertical speed. Vertical speed this. No vertical speed. I'm an idiot. I need to set the altitude first. Vertical speed and come down here. 300 feet per minute. We're gonna come down on our power setting, 1,900 RPM-ish is going to be good. Come back on the manifold pressure. And there we go, descending. Beautiful. Very beautiful morning as the sun is coming up. Currently it's 6 in the morning. So 2-hour difference to the UTC. Check on the flight plan page. We're probably going to increase to 400 RPM right now. And once we catch up with the feed measurements, we're going to decrease on our rate of descent so we can come down on the speed a little better. We once again going to verify 108 will be our maximum speed for flap takeoff, and for flap landing it's 901. Such beautiful weather out here. I love it. Okay, we're gonna leave things on the right hand tank as of right now. What we can of course do again is
Oscar Echo Lima, contact WIEN info on 124.4 transponder 7000. Safe flight.
124.4 transponder 7000, Oscar Echo Lima. Okay, that's changed. VFR. Change to 124.4. With information, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, short of Nixie is a VFR from Lima Oscar Alpha Victor to Lima Oscar Golf Foxtrot, passing 4,000 feet, descending 1,800 feet. Request traffic service.
Oscar Echo Lima, descent altitude 1800 feet. Squawk 4461 and ident. Traffic service approved.
Squawk 4461, Oscar Echo Lima. There we go. And we are already descending down into the field. It's so beautiful out here. So our first trip did not really take us into the Alps. The next trip is going to take us a little more into the west of Austria, where we're going to be a little more surrounded by mountains than we are right now. But from then on, we're really going to go into the valleys of our mountains. I'm really looking forward to that. There are a few very nice airports. One already natively added by, actually two already natively added by Asovo, and a few other ones that you just can get for free, which I think is insane. I just simply think it's amazing that people are just putting so much work into an airport and then they offer it for free, because some of them could really be charged because they're just so beautiful and they make your flying experience so nice. I just love it, and that's why I wanted to showcase them. Yeah, nevertheless, we're almost at the end of our first flight. Now getting into Thrustmaster, we're going to start setting up on our plane. We're going to request to leave the frequency shortly here. Also on our descent planning, we're looking good with our descent here. We're quite on time. You just gotta love it. It's so beautiful, the weather's looking so good. It's such a nice morning flight, really. Okay, we're coming close to the airfield. We're going to put our lights on and we're going to request to leave the frequency. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, we are short before destination. Request to leave frequency.
Oscar Echo Lima. Roger, transponder CFR, you can leave the frequency. Have a nice flight.
Oscar Echo Lima, transponder VFR leaving the frequency. Thank you, schönen Tag. And there we go. Now let's tune our last frequency for today. It will be 122.705.
I am not seeing your transponder. Confirm squawking 4461 mode. See ident one more time for me.
We are already leaving the frequency, man. Fürstenfeld Aerodrome, Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, approaching from north of the field for a full stop landing runway 13. Fürstenfeld traffic. Okay,
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, Fürstenfeld Airport info, runway 13, left circuit, wind 080 at 6, QNH 1018, no reported traffic, report downwind.
QNH 1018, we will report downwind, Oscar Echo Lima. So we can keep on the speed a little more. We're going to come up with our propeller again. 1000 RPM should be good. Come a little bit up on our mixture. There we go. So let's check on our approach. The fuel selector, select fuelless tank. This would be the left tank right now. That is checked. Lights are as required. Perfect. Fuel pump can come on. There we go. Landing data received. Altimeters are both set. QNH 1018 on both. ComNav and FMS is set. The power is set. For the final, we will do that once approaching. We can come in and zoom in over here. That flight plan thingy can go away. Come down with the power a little bit. We increased to 2300 RPM-ish, 2400 RPM now. There we go. We hold the altitude now. That's a nice low pass flight. Why is she trying to fight so hard at the moment? What are you doing?
1
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, base runway 13. Let's go full ridge, drop full.
Oscar
Down
Echo
on our
Lima, roger.
VM, flaps, take off. And over there is the field. We are looking good. The approach speed is perfect.
Oscar Echo Quebec Alpha Hotel, ready for departure runway 13.
Oscar Echo Quebec Alpha Hotel, wind 080 at 6, runway 13, no reported traffic, report airborne.
Report airborne, Oscar Echo Quebec Alpha Hotel.
We're turning in. I hope that guy will be clear of the runway once we reach the runway, because there is reported traffic for the runway. Nevertheless, there is the field inside. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, 2 miles final runway 13. Manual flight. Flight director can come a little bit down on our speed now.
Oscar Echo Lima, wind 080 at 6, no reported traffic, land at your discretion.
Roger, Oscar Echo Lima. There is reported traffic, I heard him. I can even see him on the display. But he's already out. We can see him right there. We're a little to the right.
Alpha Hotel airborne.
He's airborne.
Oscar
Perfect.
Echo Quebec Alpha Hotel, roger, contact departure.
On the speed, hold 72 and put the nose down. Now we'll start our descent. I have to fight the plane a little bit. I want to work out with the trim. There we go, that's looking good. It feels like we're a little high right now. That is not a problem. Come down on the speed a little bit. And
500.
check. Try to put our nose down. Now that is looking good. We are a little to the right again. There's some wind over here. We're a little slow as well. Nope, we're going around. We're a little too high. Let's take off. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is going around. Cloud scan 1,800 feet.
Oscar Echo
Let's try
Lima,
that again.
roger, wind 080 at 6, no reported traffic.
Oscar Echo Lima. That was too high. It doesn't matter when you fly into an airport for the first time, especially VFR, those things happen. Thankfully we are briefed. We're gonna take our left turn over here so we stay clear of this town over there. My flaps can come to 0. And we can come back onto a nice climb setting over here. Basically follow the fields a little bit to the back, and then we'll take a left turn across the railway tracks again. Coming up with 1,000.
Oscar Echo Lima, I show your squawking 7000. Verify your squawking 4461, mode C.
Squawking 4461 Oscar Echo Lima. That is a bug. He never gave us a squawk in the first place. We now overclimbed a little. Let's get back down to 1,800 feet. And we are on a nice fly down. Okay, we're climbing again. Now we want to go. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, left downwind on runway 13. Okay, let's try this again. Start sinking. Come down with flaps 1. And we can start our left in here. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, base runway 13. And
Oscar Echo Lima, roger.
this time we are looking at a little better height than in our previous approach. We're going to get flaps full here now. Let's dropping on the speed, let's catch her. We're at a good approach speed. The height is looking way better than last time. Let's just make sure we are keeping on descending. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima, 1 mile final for runway 13.
Oscar Echo Lima, wind 080 at 6. No reported traffic. Land at your discretion.
We're not reading it back this time because he will tell us some stupid stuff again. And let's try to bring her down smoothly. We can come back a little bit on our speed. We are fairly fast at the moment, but the height is looking much better. Come back on the throttle. Cut the power already. There's a little bump in the runway. Let's not overflare her. There we go, and try to stay on the center line as much as we can. And here we go. Timer is going off. Recover the engine and take the turn. The flaps can come off now. There they go. And here we are. Our transponder is coming to standby again. We can put it to a VFR code now again. Beautiful. Okay. Fuel pump can come off. Whilst we are taxiing, when I open the after landing checklist, alternate day is closed, transponders on standby, lights are as required, flaps are up, pitot heat and fuel pump both off. We're going all around the place at the moment, but that's not a problem. We'll make it work. Let's exit over here. Oscar Echo Foxtrot Echo Lima is clear of runway 13. Will he understand that? Or should we have said vacated?
Oscar Echo Lima, taxi to stand parking 9er at your discretion. Good day.
Roger. Of course we're not doing that, he would not give us such clearance. It's not a real clearance, but he wouldn't give us a stand either. Nevertheless, we'll take a left turn onto the grass over here. This is where we park. Make sure our tail is clear of the taxiway, that should be good. Let the parking brake come down on our RPM. There we go. Taxi light and position light can come off. We are all set. The avionic master can come off. And just like that, we're ready to cut the engine. 33 minutes of flight, that's perfect. We can reset the timer for next time, come back here, close the time reference, and we'll do a quick cut off the engine. Okay, that didn't work. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And fuel cut off. Thrust to idle. Ignition key to off. And we are basically set. Strobe lights can come off. All the electrical consumers will come off. Now we deplug ourselves from the aircraft. And that should be it. Okay, we'll verify everything is as it's supposed to be. Power can come off, we open the canopy, and here we are, in Fürstenfeld. Welcome to the airport. And with that I say thank you for joining on the very first flight with me on my little tour through Austria. I hope you enjoyed this flight, and see you again next time. Bye bye.